the cell gone. This is me going. Whoa! This is me zooming out.
Okay, so looking at your learning goals and scales, tell me by showing on your fingers, where do you think you are on the learning goals and scales right now? Okay, all right, so yeah, I would agree. You guys mostly are at level 3, knowing that a bunch of atoms make a molecule, a bunch of molecules make a cell, a bunch of cells make a tissue. Today we're going to get you to a level 4. You are actually going to construct a model of the cell. You and your lab partner will construct a model of cell out of candy. Yes? Yes.
What if my lab partner isn't here?
If your lab partner is not here, we'll either stick you with somebody else whose lab partner is not here, or we'll put you in a group of 3. We'll have you join somebody else. Okay, so the first part of the cell that we're going to talk about is the cytoplasm. So you are going to write down cytoplasm as it is in red. All right, so the cytoplasm, ideally, I would probably use something like Jell-O, the Wiggly Jiggly Jell-O, to do cytoplasm. But I think that would be a little bit messy. So instead I used a fruit roll-up. So the cytoplasm is going to hold together the cell. It provides an environment for all of the organelles. The organelles are what we call all of the other things that we're going to talk about today. So it is a filler material. So it's a little bit kind of like slime. And then we put all the other organelles in it, and you have your cell. The cell membrane is the boundary between the cell and the environment. And the cell membrane, I actually used a Twizzlers pull and peel because it's very similar to the cell wall, which is around it, which I used a regular size Twizzler. They're very similar in their function. So the cell membrane allows things to go in and out of the cell. Specifically, it would be things like oxygen and carbon dioxide. When you breathe in, you're taking in oxygen, and then you want to get rid of carbon dioxide. And then we talked a little bit about homeostasis in cells before when we did the lab with the gummy bear. So what else? What was going in and out? Like what went in and out of the gummy bear? The water, right. So also the cell membrane is going to let water in and out. All right, and then the cell wall serves to give strength and structure. And the cell wall, it's important to note that the cell wall is in a plant cell, but it's not in an animal cell. So if you look up here, you can see the plant cell has the cell wall. The animal cell just has a cell membrane. And the plant cell also has a cell membrane, but the plant cell is the only one that has a cell wall. And what else do you immediately notice just by, like, look at the shapes of them? So the plant cell is like...
More rectangular.
Yeah, rectangular. And the animal cell is circular. Okay. So the cell wall is going to make structure and support. Now, an animal cell wouldn't need the cell wall because what do you have as a human being for structure and support?
Our bones, like our...
Yes. I was even ready. I was at the ready just in case you didn't know. But you have a skeleton, which we are actually going to learn about in the next chapter. So you don't need to have a cell wall, but the plant it uses it kind of like a crab uses its shell as a form of protection. So the cell wall, we use a full-size Twizzler to represent that. All right, show me on your card, which of the following is an example of an organelle that serves as a filler material and provides an environment for organelles to do their chemical reactions? Yes. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So yes, it is a cytoplasm. It's a filler material. Good. Everybody got that one. All right. Then we have the nucleus. The nucleus. I used a marshmallow to represent the nucleus. So the nucleus is, if you saw in the little video clip, it kind of acts as the brain of the cell, and it holds all the genetic material. If you look up here, it's got these X structures, which are chromosomes, which we're going to learn about in detail later, which are made up of DNA, and DNA is what would make you have straight hair versus curly hair versus wavy hair, or like darker skin versus lighter skin, or blue eyes versus brown eyes. So it is typically the largest and darkest organelle that you see. You can see it's in both the plant and also in the animal cell. When you looked at the onion cell, I know some people ask me, they're like, what is that? Like it was darker in the center. So it's very easy to see when you look at it under a slide. Then you have ribosomes. Ribosomes are in charge of turning DNA's molecules into proteins. And proteins build what?
Muscles.
Muscles, right. All right, so ribosomes, I used nerds for this, and I just taped I kind of made like a key, like you would make a key on a map. So I taped like one ribosome to the plate. And you'll notice that they're attached to the green thing. So the ribosomes are the little blue dots on there. It's not the green part. Ribosomes are either attached to the endoplasmic reticulum, or they're just freely floating in the cytoplasm. So you're just going to kind of sprinkle them around. Yes?
Endoplasmic reticulum, isn't that like the connection of tubes?
Yeah, we're gonna get there in a second. So, yep, you're right though. So you have about 10 million ribosomes in your body, because remember, you are made up of trillions of cells. Yes. All right. So ribosomes, they could either be on the endoplasmic reticulum, which we're going to get to in the next, but before we get there, in this picture of the cell, which label indicates the part of the cell that contains most of the cell's genetic material? Yes, very good. Yes. 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 All right. So most of you got that. That one was number 1. All right, so the nucleus. All right, so this is, the next one is the rough endoplasmic reticulum. And the rough endoplasmic reticulum, we use a nerd's rope to model, because it's got like the ribosomes immediately on it already. And then you'll notice there's something called smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So the smooth endoplasmic reticulum it does not have ribosomes attached to it. So it's like an assembly plant. It processes and modifies proteins. All right, so then it's going to transport these proteins to something called the Golgi apparatus. But before we get there, so everybody got rough endoplasmic reticulum? All right. So then you've got smooth. For smooth endoplasmic reticulum, I used the gummy worm. So the smooth endoplasmic reticulum acts like as a detoxifying center for chemicals found in the cytoplasm. It also produces lipids. Lipids are fats. If you remember when we talked about the 4 different kinds of the carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids.